Thanks for joining in the live stream. So today we're going to be talking about Instagram and their attempts to possibly get rid of the like button and how that could really change the platform. Also how Facebook and YouTube could be potentially following suit. So if this is your first time watching one of these live streams or your first time seeing my channel, basically I'm a digital marketer, social media expert based in Syracuse, and hoping to grow a business that helps small businesses succeed in their social media advertising efforts. So if you see this live stream, feel free to ask any kind of social media questions you have down below. I have an article I think is really cool that I'm going to be talking about, and but definitely feel free to chime in with any kind of questions, anything I can help with, and that's really the crux of what these live videos are intended to be for. So with that, let's get started as I switch over here. Okay, so this is an article about or on Social Media Today, which is a really great website that has all this different kind of social media advice and updates about what's happening with the platforms and how this can change the user experience. So it's something really cool to check out, especially if you're big into digital marketing. I definitely recommend it. But right here, they're talking about Instagram will enable users to choose whether they want to hide post like counts in new tests. So what usually happens with these platforms when they roll out a new feature is they test it with a small sample group of people and just kind of see how that works. Oftentimes, the results aren't great because a lot of people might opt to not even use the feature. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what they kind of discovered here. So it says, after working on the option over the past few months, Instagram chief Adam Mosseri has now officially confirmed the launch of a new test that will enable IG users to choose whether they display like counts or not within the app. He outlines, last year we started hiding like counts for a small group of people to see if it lessened some pressure when posting on Instagram. So yeah, there's that small sample group of people who tested out this new feature. Some found this helpful and some still wanted to see the like counts in particular to track what's popular. So this is really big here, I think. When the platforms first came out, it was a feature that made a lot of sense. I think a lot of the big companies like Facebook, who owns Instagram and YouTube in general, I think they all are starting to kind of drift away from that because they can see that kind of promote the wrong thing on the platform. Right now, all these platforms really care about integrity posts. And when we say integrity posts, basically, authentic, well-natured posts. So I think in 2018, Facebook had a major algorithm switch in which they talked about focusing on meaningful social interactions. Basically, meaningful social interactions just means more one-on-one content between people, right? So friends and family, things like that. What the platform is really kind of based on, right? So that definitely changed it for a lot of businesses and kind of changed the game. Suddenly, especially if you've been on Facebook and promoting your brand on Facebook for the past few years, you probably noticed that around 2018 or so, there were big shifts and suddenly it became a lot harder for your content to be seen by anybody, right? And that's basically what happened. Their algorithm switched dramatically and it really prioritized the average everyday user instead of as much focusing on letting businesses get a lot of content out there. So suddenly it became a lot harder to market your business, and that's one of the first years that I really got involved in digital marketing, and so that was definitely a learning experience for me. So we had to find other ways to make good content that did well on Facebook and kind of upheld that high integrity threshold that they're looking for. And this is very similar to the other platforms as well. So the insight to kind of see that Instagram is looking to do that and kind of reprioritize what kind of content gets seen and what's seen as successful posting on the platform. Okay, so all right, back here, continuing where we left off. So we're testing a new option that lets you decide the experience that's best for you, whether that's choosing not to see like counts on anyone else's posts, turning them off for your own posts, or keeping the original experience. Instagram actually began hiding post counts 2 years ago in a series of tests in various regions. Instagram hasn't published the results of those experiments, but it was recently explained that the project has been deprioritized due to COVID-19. That makes a lot of sense, and has only recently been reawakened. As noted, Instagram has been working on these new options for some time. Back in January, app researcher Alessandro Polisi shared screenshots of his findings of a new option within Instagram's backend code that would enable users to hide accounts on their posts if they wanted to. Yeah, so you can see I've turned off commenting, hide like count, yeah. He also noted that users would be able to hide like counts on posts both within the composer when initially posting and in retrospect. So that's kind of interesting. That at least makes sense. If you're going to roll out this platform, it at least makes sense to me that you would consider, being able to do it in retrospect. So you can have a post, and if there's not a lot of likes, and it's something that you don't want everyone to see how this post didn't get a lot of likes, you can go in after the fact and still turn off posts. That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm not 100% sure I like the idea of getting rid of likes on Instagram. It's such an integral part, and even though there is a lot of, it's kind of a popularity contest, right? And it's not always the greatest thing in the world. I can see why, Instagram and Facebook and stuff would want to get rid of it. It still just seems so integral to the platform. And I know it's a really nice, even though it is a vanity metric, when by that I just mean that it's a metric that doesn't hold a ton of weight, it's still a nice metric to quickly kind of analyze and compare posts. So if you have a post that got a lot more likes than another one, that's a quick way to see that people liked it more, right? It's not always the most accurate thing, but it definitely helps marketers. So I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it, but I can understand why the platforms want to get rid of it potentially. All right, shifting back over here. It seems that exactly what Instagram is going with. It seems this is exactly what Instagram is now going with confirming the 3 alternatives that would be made available. Okay, sorry, I just butchered that sentence. So here are the 3 options that you would potentially have. Hiding like counts on other people's posts, switching off like counts on your own post, keeping full like counts available in app. Okay, so interesting. Switching off like counts for other people's posts. That's kind of interesting because that's one of those things too where it's like, at that point, I'm not really sure why you would. If you really dislike the option that much that you're just not even wanting to see it on other people's. And I think that's even if they haven't hid theirs. So let's say somebody posts something, they don't turn off their likes, right? So you can see their likes, the amount of likes that they have. And then you go on, you have the option to potentially to get rid of seeing those likes as well. So that's super interesting to me. I don't really see the benefit of that. I guess just to, give everybody an option in every way, shape, and form to not have to see how many likes there were on something. But it seems like kind of, to me personally, it just seems like a non-solution. I think it's a step in the direction that these platforms want to go, but it doesn't seem like it really, changes too much. I think that people will still, for instance, these platforms, people spam likes, comments, and follows, right? Or like on YouTube, for example, subscribes. And they'll still do that with comments and with subscribes. So, you see those kind of posts that say, hey, like this or subscribe this, or even better yet, maybe I can find one of those posts that, let's see, like posts. Let me switch over real quick. Like posts on Instagram. Let's see, like or heart posts on Instagram. Okay. All right, let's see what we have here. you can see that there are, if you've ever seen these kinds of posts that are, they're saying, like or heart for this reason or that reason, right? Those are kind of what I'm talking about. Those are what's called engagement bait, and it's where the platform really doesn't like it. It's basically saying like, oh, like for this Lamborghini, or follow or heart for this Mustang, and it's like a picture of two different cars side by side. That kind of stuff that just kind of encourages, engagement, even though it's not authentically getting engagement. That's the kind of stuff that Instagram definitely doesn't like, and neither do the rest of the platforms either. Okay. All right, guys. Well, that about wraps it up. I'm really interested to see where Instagram goes with this. I think that as far as it involves marketing, I think it really does help to illustrate that likes are a vanity metric, especially for Instagram. That's the big reason why they would consider hiding them. Now, you'd still be able to like, but it just would be hidden, the exact number of people. But it's definitely one of those metrics that doesn't matter nearly as much as viewership and retention and things like that. So it'd be interesting to see where this goes, but I think it definitely shows us that it's not as important of a metric for brands to be concerned about. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.